Hello, my name is Bob Willis and welcome to the NPL Defect Database, or Defect of the Month as I choose to call it. Now, every month we look at different defects taken from our NPL Defect Database and hopefully provide engineers with a reference source, hopefully to solve some of their process problems. Now this month I wanted to look at or talk about nickel gold failures. Now unfortunately with nickel gold failures sometimes you just can't tell. If you get a batch of boards you don't know whether that batch of boards is going to give you a problem or not. Now everybody associates nickel gold failures just with BGA, however it can happen with other components. So one of the things you could consider if you've previously had a batch of boards which had component failures on is actually to do a shear force measurement on some sample parts. Now, you know, this is obviously destructive, but if you're doing microsectioning or gold stripping on a board to look at the surface of the nickel, that's also destructive. And it's much simpler to do some shear force measurements in your manufacturing plant. It'll cost you a lot less than doing laboratory studies. So what I would suggest is, if you've got a new batch of boards, then select a component that you already know the shear force measurement for and do some shear force measurements. And you'll see a significant difference between a good board and a bad board if there is a problem with the nickel interface. Again, if you've recently had a problem and you're talking to your supplier, why not insist that the supplier add some test pads to the scrap area of the board that you're going to break out after assembly. Again, in that area you can put on some fairly large surface mount components that are very easy to shear off the printed circuit board and compare those shear forces with previous results that you had on the same component on your board. Again, fairly quick to do, fairly simple to do, and it gives you confidence in the new build of boards that you've got from your supplier.